Tell me why you're so passionate about, putting money into the technology we already have.
Sure. So I think where this really started was in Paris, right? We came out of Paris, and even leading up to Paris, there was a lot of discussion about, can we do it with existing technologies? Do we need breakthroughs? And in part, if you're in the incumbent world, it's nice to make an argument that I should just keep doing what I'm doing until that breakthrough miracle comes along. Mm-hmm. And then we'll do that. Mm-hmm. But please don't annoy me with this wind and solar and other stuff that's an imperfect solution. Mm-hmm. Right? And that created the dichotomy of, do we go this way or do we go this way? I think the reality is you have to do both. Mm-hmm. And so the pieces I wrote were largely pieces that said, if I look at California, I absolutely think we can do what we need to do largely on existing technologies. There's a software and an operations overlay that we need to put on top of it to better manage, in essence, creating intermittent demand that follows intermittent generation. But we've got systems that do that. We've done it for the internet. We've done it for communications. But the better we do there, the cheaper we actually make that energy. Mm-hmm. And it has this perverse effect that it also makes coal, in some ways, oil cheaper. Mm-hmm. The cheaper we make coal and oil, the more that people in India, in China, in Africa buy more coal, use more coal. Mm-hmm. And so we're not actually helping the global problem. Hmm. So where I think the breakthroughs have to come in is we actually have to be cheaper than coal without subsidies in India. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure we're there.
Let's talk about the miracle, because that's what he said, right?
Okay, we need a miracle, he said, right?
That was what he said. And as a venture capitalist, I love miracles. I mean, I rely on them on a regular basis because, the odds are all stacked against you. I mean, they're small, medium, and large miracles, to be sure, but we need them all. And I would say that the fact that clean energy companies are doing as well as they're doing, that is a miracle. When you think about all of the lack of a price on carbon, the state skirmishes, the trade wars, the investment tax credits, the dealerships at the state level. I mean, there are so many headwinds that are in the face of this industry, and to think that we're building the iconic companies that are replacing 20th century versions with Tesla and SolarCity and Sunrun. Lynn couldn't be here. We've got Nextracker was here last year that innovated in tracking systems. I mean, there's an abundance of progress, and we're driving down the cost. We're riding that cost curve. So I was at Paris. I must have been in the wrong meeting because I felt a tremendous energy that we have made a lot of progress, and it's only going to get better. And the fact that we can do all this with this kind of albatross around our neck of an unlevel playing field without a price on carbon, imagine what we'll do when we fix those problems. So, you have to be an optimist in this business, and so I own up to that. But there's a lot of evidence to say that we've got to do this. Now, I'm also an impact investor, and so I'm a huge admirer of what the Gates Foundation has done in healthcare and education and emerging markets and improving the quality of life there. But everyone knows in those situations, and those sectors, it's a long game. Mm-hmm. It's, you tweak an educational system, and if you're not in that school or that school district, it's not going to happen for you, that improvement right away. And in some cases, these are generational approaches. So the difference here, going back to what Stefan said, is we don't have that time. We're kind of in the emergency room, and whatever that miracle, big innovation on the operating table is, if we don't keep the patient alive enough to get into that operating room, then we're screwed.